Welcome to Sinners Movie Review. Yo, man, welcome. Sinners Movie Review. I'm your host, Sensei Reality Show. Let's talk about the movie Sinners. First off, we want to start off with just a great, remarkable job by Ryan Coogler. Um, the whole cast that was selected and got chosen to play each character for this movie was really sold the right proper way. Just from the execution of the acting skills and just and everything that they put into it, as far as with the whole eye control, and just the voice tones of each character, especially with Stack and Smoke, played by the twin brothers that are both played by Michael B. Jordan. Just to see just the whole accent, the Southern accent that Michael B. Jordan pulled off is just amazing, man. I really take my hat off to Michael B. Jordan. Young living legend. Young and he just keeps getting better. So special shout out to Mike, man, Michael B. Jordan. But first off, I want to start off with the twin brothers, Stack and Smoke. They this was supposed to be like in 1932, and they were like both World War One veterans, and they returned to their hometown of Mississippi Delta. After those years that was spent working for the Chicago outfit, it was money that was stolen from gangsters that purchased a sawmill from a racist landowner by the name of Hogwood. They started they used that to start a juke joint to the local black community. And their little cousin Sammy, which was a talented, singer, is an aspiring guitarist. Also, he joined them, and despite the opposition from his father, which was a pastor, that warned him that the blues music is supernatural. In other words, the devil. Both the twins, that were both played by Michael B. Jordan, Stack and Smoke, they recruited other staff, a pianist by the name of Delta Slim, that was played by Delroy Lindo. Shout out to Delroy Lindo, man. If you don't know who Delroy Lindo is, he played the father of Crooklyn. If you know, you know, for the culture, and anybody who watched Crooklyn, classic movie. And the singer Pearline, also. But this movie, man, it really showcased off of what a vampire type movie that brings towards a film. It's how it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be shot exactly the way that Ryan Coogler shot, from different locations and scenes, and all of it was just perfect and well executed, as far as like what I was just stating, the scenes and locations, and just how the way the movie just looked overall. It didn't look like anything other than, quality, presentation, everything was well pulled off in a great form fashion by Ryan Coogler. But I want to give a special shout out to Forrest Whitaker for giving. I didn't know that Forrest Whitaker gave Ryan Coogler his shot in order for him to be the director that he is, the great director that he is. So shout out to Forrest Whitaker, the living legend, Forrest Whitaker. But Stack and Smoke, both twin brothers, like these dudes, they don't hold nothing back. They just straightforward and they speak from their heart. And they nothing to play with. They're some serious dudes. And the racist guy that I was, speaking of that, was part of the racist landowner. He was part of the Ku Klux Klan, which I didn't know of. So he didn't really want to give up the property for them to have their own juke joint. But once they had this juke joint put up, and little Sammy, their cousin or whatever, I think it was the twins' cousin. Well, he wasn't their cousin, but it almost just feels as if he was, because they feel like they was real close. But he got everything up and running in the juke joint, and everybody came, from around town, came to the juke joint. it was jam-packed. So everybody having a good time. Everything is good. But you start realizing weird things going on. Weird sounds. And at first came across with Cornbread, one of the guys will be at the door of the juke joint, making sure that people are, I guess, making sure that they ain't got nothing on them or anything like that. He was like one of the security, from the front door, watching the front door as people like come in, and out of the whole place to see who's supposed to who belonged and who didn't belong, pretty much. He was the front door guy. They had gotten to them because all the vampires were white. So, I mean, it may spark a little controversy maybe, because it seemed like, all white people, vampires and things of that sort. But it's not that all white people are vampires and that are bad. It's just certain ones that are in this part of town that was a Ku Klux Klan and that didn't like black people. So when Cornbread had got bitten, he came back and then they realized something that was off about Cornbread, and the twins, they got the other lady and the twins, that one that smokes, mother his unborn child, but you'll find at the end that she was pregnant the whole time before she passed away. It was one of his longtime girlfriends. All them that came to the to outside, and they realized that that Cornbread was missing. And once he came back, they realized something was off. So once he got bitten, he became a vampire. They had to put Cornbread down. And then the white girl had once they had an encounter with the white guy that was the head of the vampires, and after everybody got infected inside the club, see, I'm fast forwarding. Everybody in the club got infected, and the white vampire that was the head of the vampires and things like that, he had everybody inside that were partying inside the juke joint. He had all of them infected. Even one of the Asian women, her husband was infected. The one that had their own store downtown. Because he went outside to start the car up, and he got infected. So it was just a whole bunch of chaos and having to defend, trying to defend the club. So it wouldn't get burnt down, but eventually it did. And little Sammy got saved because Smoke had told Stack, like, hey, I'll let you live, just don't bother Sammy. Because Sammy was the talented younger kid that was the guitarist. So once he saved, Sammy was going through towards the end, he was going through, him and Remick, I think that was his name. That was the head dude. That's his name, the head dude of the vampires, the white guy. He was trying to bite Sammy and take him down and make him a part of him. And Smoke came from under the waters, like a submarine or some type of like he was some scuba diver, like scuba swimmer, like underwater type of thing. He came from under the water and stabbed Remick in the back with the sword. And once he stabbed him in the back, all the other vampires that was affected by the fact that Remick, the head leader of the vampires, was stabbed. They started feeling it, and then they started going down as well. So after Remick had went down and Sammy was saved, Sammy had, escaped and ran because Smoke told him to go, just keep going, just run and until you find like a safe place, or pretty much. So when, I don't know how little Sammy had ended up, getting inside, getting his own vehicle, but he ended up having his own vehicle and he drove down. This is towards the end, because I'm speeding fast forwarding it. He drove towards the church where his daddy was the pastor at. And because his daddy didn't support none of his music, none of the blues and things like that, because he thought it was supernatural, the devil, in other words, the devil's music. So once he had came back and he had like the piece of the guitar still in his hand, and his daddy, was telling him to put it down, and from things of that sort, like after his daddy had that encounter, Sammy didn't kill anyone. I thought Sammy gonna end up taking out the whole church because I thought he had got infected, but he didn't. He ended up leaving, and then it went back to Smoke, and Smoke was outside the juke joint because the juke joint was it didn't burn down, but pieces of it was still up, but it was certain parts inside I think had got damaged due to the fire. I think that was set off. by Remick, the head leader of the vampires. He was outside, and the Ku Klux Klan, the white guy, I think his name was Hogwood, one of the Ku Klux Klan members. Him and his people started to try to come up onto the property and try to take over and take back the juke joint, try to take back over it. So Smoke ended up killing all of them. And I was like, that was a very big part of the scene that I liked. He killed all the members of the Ku Klux Klan. And he had ended up getting grazed, getting shot in the side of his stomach. And he was slowly bleeding out. And he started hallucinating and started seeing things. He started seeing his longtime girlfriend, because she had passed away, because she had got bitten also. So when she had passed away, he had found out that she had an unborn child that she was carrying the whole time. He had a baby on the way that he didn't even know that he had. And he was holding his child. And that's pretty much how the way it ended, because it showed that he went on and passed away, and he went and joined his longtime girlfriend and their kid that they was supposed to be having together. So that was like the most powerful scene of the movie, man. And it went on to, years later, bunch of years later, when Sammy became like an old man, Stack was still living. Stack was still living. That was like that was the other twin. Michael B. Jordan played him and the other girl, the white girl, that I forget her name, but she, the fine white chick, and then Stack was still living. And they went into the side this I think another juke joint, and they seen Sammy at the bar, and they were saying, "Hey man, we could bring you back. Have you looking young like us again if you if you get down with us." And he's like, "Nah," but he said he's seen all what he needs to see. He don't need to be brought back into a younger version or anything else that's Stack was trying to sell off to him. He went with it. He was saying like he's seen enough, and he was ready to go whenever it was time to go. So before Stack and the other chick had left, Stack wanted to request a song from Sammy to sing before they left, because both of them Stack was dressed up to the 90s gear. From the jacket, everything was 90s style. Had the whole high top, low top thing going on with the fade. He was fresh. And Sammy had sung a song, but Sammy had sold his soul, I feel, because he was the only one that was still alive. But at the same time, Smoke did request that, that Sammy stay alive. If I keep you alive, don't bother him. But at the same time, I feel like Sammy had sold his soul, because he was like the type of music he was singing. And then for him not to be, nothing not to happen to him, just based off of Smoke's word, and him singing that song at the end, I was like, yeah, I think he had sold out a long time ago. So, it kind of like can go into play of why Sammy was still alive. So after he played the guitar and sung the song for Stacking, the other white chick, and they left the juke joint, and the credits rolled from that point. But this was a great film. I am going to see it again. I think I'm going to see it again. Maybe it's going to be soon, because this video coming out. I'm putting this out Sunday. If not Sunday, maybe Thursday. I don't know. But that's the movie review. Out of 5 stars, I give this movie 5 out of 5. Not being biased, but I didn't really see nothing that I could take points off of that didn't make sense, because everything made sense. Everything was written properly in the right way, and nothing felt rushed. The storyline and just the scene selections and locations and how everything was shot, I just didn't see nothing that was off, that I felt like they could have changed. So great film. Sinners movie review. If you haven't go see it, go check it out, man. Sensei reality show. I'll let y'all later, man. One love. Peace. Like and subscribe.